Yeah. So we all know that for mucor, first of all, we need an ENT surgeon who will do a sinonasal debridement in all the cases. So endoscopic sinus surgery by an ENT surgeon is the first surgical line of treatment for all the cases. But now in this phase of mucor, we are seeing lot many maxillary cases, the mucor going into the maxilla, which is missed by many people outside and even here also. So I would just like to show you some cases of mucor in maxilla. So this is the first patient, Pitambar Bhai Patel. We had operated him in December 2020. He was admitted here in December 2020, the first wave of COVID. He was known to Dr. Jayesh Patel sir and Dr. Natu Patel sir. He was 67-year-old male. He had an history of diabetes and teeth extraction. He was admitted with active COVID here. So the chief complaint he had was pain and swelling on the left side of the face, and there was blackish discoloration of palate. So here we can see fullness swelling on the left side of the face. There was periorbital edema, but his vision was okay. His eye movements were okay. Now on the palate intraorally, you can see a big patch, blackish color necros palatal tissue. And on the CT scan, we can see pansinusitis. Bilaterally, all the sinuses were involved. We can also see this pre-maxillary involvement. Retromaxillary, this involvement was going up to the ITF. On the 3D, we can see bone erosions very clearly. So we planned a surgery, Weber Ferguson with an infraorbital extension. This was the pre-maxillary tissue, which was totally necrosed. This was the palatal thing. So we removed the whole soft tissue. We exposed the bone, which was also having blackish discoloration. We did an infrastructure maxillectomy. We put a cut. We down fractured the maxilla. We cleared all the tissues from the infratemporal fossa up to the pterygoid plates. Post closure. This was the specimen. You can see this bone necrosis, blackish discoloration. This is the nasal floor. This is the palate. This is the zygomatic part, and this is the pterygoid part. So the patient came after 6 months. He had a biopsy positive 3 months back, but he's still living. He's doing good. I don't know. So another case, we did maxillectomy with an orbital debridement. Santilal Bhai Shah, known to Dr. Rasmi ma'am. So he was admitted here only for COVID in March 2021. During the first time he was admitted, I and Dr. Emal got a call to see him. We saw him, there was nothing. The CT was almost okay, all clear. He got readmitted. He had some respiratory distress and tosi and steroids and everything was given to him. And the next time after 7 days, we got, he again complained of pain on the left side. We got a CT done. There was a complete involvement of the maxillary sinus. So Dr. Hemal did a bilateral endoscopic sinus surgery. After 3 or 4 days, he developed orbital complaints. So he had some vision issues. There was restricted eye movement. We got a repeat CT scan done. I will show you the CT. There was complete maxillary involvement, and the involvement was going up to the inferior rectus muscle through the inferior orbital fissure. So here we can see there was some necrosis of the gingival tissue, bone erosion, the blackish. This is the infraorbital fissure through which the lesion was going into the eye. So after removal of the maxilla, this is what we can see clearly. The inferior orbital fissure contained fully necrosed going into the inferior rectus muscle. On the CT, we can clearly see this bridge and see this CT exactly like this. This was because Deepa ma'am clearly guided us how the disease is and how it was going. So we did inferior rectus debridement, and then we put a local ampho pack. This was just a thing we took from the osteomyelitis cases we used to do. We used to put antibiotic beds into the operated bed. So this was done when ampho was freely available. So now we don't do it much because of scarcity of ampho. We just wet it with an F-gel. Means there is an F-gel, we have a sponge, it becomes a sponge when you wet it. We took it 1 ampule, 50 mg deoxycholate, dilute it into 10 ml of syringe, take it in a bowl, dip it, and just put it there. So this was the specimen post maxillectomy, complete necrosis of the maxilla. This was the soft tissue, all black, all necrosed. So another case.
This patient came for follow-up today. We really get
Shantilal, yeah. So we have planned plastic surgery, means reconstructive surgery for him. Dr. Vatsal have already seen him, but we are waiting for 1 or 2 biopsy, as you said. So once it's all confirmed, is posaconazole and everything is over, we'll plan a reconstruction for him. So this was another patient, Gauresh Bhai Darji, referred by Dr. Ulmil sir. So he came with a complaint. He was post-COVID, came with a complaint of loss of vision suddenly, lack of eye movements. He had proptosis, he had ptosis. He came overnight. We operated the next day. So please give me some. So this is clearly proptosis, which we can see. This is the involvement at the orbital apex. So we did an orbital exenteration. So the criteria for exenteration is not only loss of vision, the disease should go up to the apex. Okay, so we did a lead preserving orbital exenteration. So we put a in subciliary incision. We excised the whole orbit. We took it out. Post orbital exenteration, we can clearly see this involvement of the floor and the medial wall of the maxilla. So this is post excision. Nicely, everything healthy. This was the specimen. This was post-op. Another case I would like to show medial maxillectomy and orbital exenteration. It had pre-maxillary space involvement. This is what we miss in all the CT scans. Pre-maxillary space involvement. That is why recurrence mostly occurs. So this was Bhavesh Bhai, 52-year-old male, highly diabetic, yet came with ketoacidosis acetone of more than 40. He was actually a father of an orthopedic surgeon. He was on oxygen, and at that time, we had some rules about not taking patient on oxygen. So
special thanks to Minesh Patel for getting us the ventilator.
So when we did the CT, there was this pre-maxillary space involvement. Very clearly, so you can compare here and here. They were all having pansinusitis, and this was the orbital apex involvement. The whole orbit, see, this is the normal blackish orbital fat, and this is all diseased fat. We also had loss of vision, proptosis, ptosis, everything. So after once we did the orbital exenteration, this is what I was talking about. See this. This is mucus. This is the necrosis, tissue necrosis, pre-maxillary, retromaxillary involvement. This is the inferior orbital fissure. This is the inferior orbital nerve, and the disease goes from year to year. So we did a complete excision. Again, we put some M4 pack. All clear, all good. He's also doing good. I will just show one total maxillectomy case. Ramesh Bhai, known to Hardik sir. He again came on 10 to 12 liter of oxygen, diabetes, hypertension. His whole maxilla was involved. So this is a specimen of total maxillectomy. This is the floor, how we take it out. Excellent clearance was done, but somehow patient was not good. He took DAMA. So I don't know how he's progressing now. This was another patient had palatal excision. So Rasid Surani on 10 liter oxygen in our own ICU. Bhagesh sir was seeing him. So this is how a palatal was looked. So we did a palatal excision, soft tissue. We removed the bone. See this bone. This is all necrosed. Post-op. Another, so a lot of cases we have right now coming from outside, which have been operated by ENT surgeons, done endoscopic sinus surgery, young patients. So another from Gandhidham, 23-year-old male, who was supposed to get married in the last week of May. So because of this mucus, his marriage got broke off. He came here, he had, someone had prescribed him normal M4, 4 times the dose it should be. So he had a create of 4, was starving. He came to our thing, we operated on him. We did a, see, when I opened up, this was the necrotic maxilla, the maxillary sinus was all full. We did a nice excision, the maxillary sinus. He just called yesterday that his marriage has been rescheduled and he's going to get married in, I think, November or December. There's a very good news when I heard that once his marriage was broken off and we could give him good surgery. So my personal opinion is that we all know about the first way of spread of mucor, that it goes from the nose to the sinus to the orbit to the brain. But in this wave, we have seen a lot many cases starting from nose oral cavity, going into the palate, going into the maxillary alveolar bone, going to pre-maxillary rectomaxillary spaces, ITS. And recently, we are seeing so many outside operated cases already fast done on M4, 15 days, 20 days with maxillary involvements. And the major complaint these patients have is teeth mobility, pain, jaw pain, intraoral pus discharge, and numbness. So, humble request: do not ignore such signs and symptoms in even post-op cases on M4. So that's all. So I and Dr. Hemal and the whole team have almost operated around 65 to 70 mucor cases in the last 2 months. And out of this, all had sinus surgeries, all had endoscopic sinus surgeries. 35 patients underwent maxillectomies. 10 had orbital involvements. We preserved in 5, we exenerated in 5. So this was all possible because of this multidisciplinary approach and working together as a team and the support of the management. Thank you.